On everyone. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me all right. Waiting for my stream to start on my end to see if it worked. Might have got a little echo there. Looks like it is working, and like it's not going to my earbud though. But yeah, how's it going, everyone? Just wanted to do a little stream this morning. It's a busy week, but yeah, I wanted to show a recent CGC return. I've got one of those to show off. I've got a few pickups from Denver CaC. Figured I'd do a little morning Q&A just because this afternoon I'm tied up. I've actually got a parent-teacher conference this afternoon. And tomorrow, I already have it scheduled, and I have the boxes behind me. I'm doing my Seance launch event, my Seance release party event. So I had to do today for my Pokemon live stream. Pull the stream up quick. But yeah, feel free as all my live Q&As go. Leave your questions if you have any. I'll do a Q&A throughout. I'll stay live with the chat. I'm sure it'll be yeah. Very nice meeting you, JR. But very early in the morning. It's the only time I had this week to get this done, so I'm here doing it. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions about Denver, about anything we talk about. Find this. There we go. I think the chat won't be so. I don't think I'll ever get so far behind that I need to look at the live chat on the left. But just in case, I've got it here. Yeah. Yeah, my wife bought some voodoo donuts and she brought a dozen of them to our block of tables there. And she was very disappointed that I said the donuts were kind of meh. They were all right. How's it going, Pokey Martin? But yeah, let me switch over to the other camera. I'm gonna start showing. I don't have my camera set up right. Oh, just broke it. Let me see what I want to show first. I guess I'll start with something funny. So I forget how long ago it was, maybe 4 or 5 live streams ago, but 4 or 5 weeks ago probably. I wanted to test the lower bounds. Like I wanted to test what it took to get a CGC1. It was funny to me that James and Cam, Z&G Emporium, were kind of unable to. I think they had a couple 2s or 3s, or I contemplated destroying a card on live stream, but that didn't seem to be well received. And I knew I had these cards somewhere in my inventory, so I went and found them and submitted them. So these I picked up in a collection long ago. Yes, these are CGC ones. Yes, the cards are absolutely destroyed. So for anyone wondering what it takes to get a CGC one, James, if you're watching, this is what it takes. I mean, this card is actually missing. Part of the corner is just like gone or crunched up so bad that you can't see it. I don't know why the live stream seems like there's such a huge delay. Seems like over here I'm like 30 seconds or more behind. Usually it's not that bad. But yeah, actual parts of the card are missing. This is what a CGC one looks like. I think what caught James and Cam is that they destroyed one aspect of the card. I think James folded the card multiple times. That gave him a 1 on surface, but his other ones were higher. Centering on this card is probably a 9 or something. But this one has if this were to have gotten subgrades, it would have had 1 corners because the corners were just missing. It would have had 1 surface because of the creases, and I'm sure it would have had 1 edges because look at the edges. So To get a 1, you need to have at least 2 aspects get a 1, because then the way CGC's algorithm works, if 2 subgrades match, that's the grade. If 2 of the lowest ones match, that's the grade. So I do want to show too, it was funny. There are limits to what CGC will encapsulate as a 1. So this card here, it got not suitable for certification. They actually print off and they provide a slip for it. This one actually had tape on it though. I don't know if I actually realized it had tape. I probably didn't. But yeah, this one has tape on it holding it together. So they will not certify. They will not encapsulate a card that has tape holding it together. Other than that, it seems as if they will encapsulate about anything as a 1. As long as it doesn't have tape. Yeah, that that was a fun little experiment just to see how that would go, at least for me. But got a decent bit of people in here. I mean, 34 people for 10 a.m. Not too bad. Let me go back to full chat. Did anything surprise me? Denver went as expected, I think. I had very, very high expectations, and I'm glad to say that it meted them. It meted them. It met them. I'm still clearly not fully recovered sleep-wise, and my brain's not running at 100%, I don't think. But I can't think of anything that... I mean, PK, I actually just this morning while I was packing a couple orders before I went live, I listened to PK's live stream that he did last night. I didn't catch it then. But surprising to see like FPO packs getting open. That was pretty cool. I didn't huddle around the masses, but I was in the room when it happened. To me, I'm not like a huge fan of the whole FPO thing, but it is cool. It's kind of historic in a way. I mean, I think years ago Rusty thought he had the only packs, and then Trading Card World, I think, had all those other ones. They mass opened at an event last year. Seems to be there's a fair bit more out there than people might have originally thought. That's the way things go that are saved from the shredder. But I guess it was surprising to be in the presence of an opening like that. One thing from past Collecticons, a lot of them were tied around like a base first box break, or like the one I went to in Orlando had the base first, that had the Kickstarter Metazoo, the LOB first edition, it had the Magic Beta, all those in one. There was no like real big singular break time for this Collecticon, and to have those FPO packs just randomly show up and then get cracked that night at the trade night, that was pretty cool. Any noticeable takeaways from indie TCGs while at Denver Collecticon? I guess I can use this time quickly to show off something that I got. I am good friends with Jeremy Woolpoke. I got these. I didn't get these during the convention. Friday when we went to pick up our passes, I actually we were walking over to where we pick up our passes, and oh, that sleeve got folded over bad. But yeah, we were walking over to where we pick up our passes, and we passed the cryptic booth. Jeremy was there. They threw us a couple of these promos. To me, they're cool, they're interesting, but I think cryptic is like really setting itself up as a very playable game. I don't play any of them. I'm into Pokemon for 20 something years with a big gap there in the middle. Never really played it proper. Metazoo I've been into for a little over a year now. I don't really care to learn the game. I just enjoy collecting it. But yeah, Cryptic was there. Canna Beast was there. A lot of the other ones were probably there as well. I don't have too many big thoughts on them. I think a lot, like I look at a lot of the cards and it's like those are cool, but not something I'm gonna get into personally. As far as I don't know if indie TCG that probably counts Metazoo. I did have some Metazoo raw singles, and I had a couple Metazoo slabs at my table just to see how they do, see if anyone talked about them. Most people didn't, but I did have one Whatnot streamer, a Metazoo Whatnot streamer, come up and buy like a few $100 worth of slabs and raw singles. So I guess that would be my quick rundown on like non-Pokemon, non-Yu-Gi-Oh, non-Magic TCGs. Martin picked up a first edition Flareon and Jolteon there, and gonna submit all three. Oh, Flareon, Jolteon. Gonna submit all three for the PC. Congrats on the pickups. I didn't really pick up too much. I'll show throughout today's live a couple of the things I picked up. Like these two promos were one of them. These were given to me by the Cryptic TCG booth. Jeremy. I met one of the owner guys too. I don't remember his name. Like this weekend I probably was introduced to 50 to 100 new people and heard 50 to 100 names. I'm not going to remember them all, but sorry if I don't remember yours, but did you have a lot of new people? I mean, good timing. I was just saying that. So many people. It's easier when it's someone like obviously I met so many people for the first time in our section, in our selling section, or at Swami's Friday night hanging out. I met Swami for the first time. I'm going to remember his name. He doesn't really have his personal name out there, but like I remember his personal name. I remember I know who Swami is. I've talked with him for hours and hours in voice chats on YouTube. Those people stay easier because it already feels like you know him. I met PK for the first time. I've known him and I've talked to him for several months, if not longer. I mean, watching his content, he watches some of mine. When you meet someone like that for the first time, it's just that weird. I've talked about it before. It's that weird scenario where you already feel like you know them so well. So those names are going to stick. I did have several people come up to me. Hey, I watch Pokeflips. Hey, I watch your YouTube channel. Can I get a picture with you? That's always an interesting thing. They have I never comment. I never ask questions. I just lurk. I love the content, but like I got a lot of those people's names. I'm probably not going to retain those ones as easily because, yeah, I've just really, truly meeting someone for the first time, one of several. It's very, very tough. I'm bad with names to begin with. I usually need to meet someone like 3 or 4 times for the name to stick. So how much did Denver exceed your expectations? I would say it fully met them. It didn't like substantially exceed them in any ways, but that's not to say it wasn't an amazing time. I had massive expectations for it and it fully met them in every way. Yeah, that might sound like downplaying. Oh, it didn't blow past my expectations, but that they were the highest expectations I've gone into any event, and I left very, very happy. It was an absolute blast meeting everybody, hanging out at Swami's, hanging out at the trade night Saturday night. I actually might do like a live stream this weekend, see if anyone else that went to Denver is interested. We kind of had a little Discord channel that we were doing a lot of the planning. Now that Denver's over, the dates are already out. Somebody posted the dates in the Discord. We're already talking about like who's going to Orlando, who's going to do Denver next year. Are we going to do Dallas? Are we going to do Charlotte? It's pretty crazy to only be back for a couple days. My voice is like not even 100% yet. My voice isn't fully back, and people are already talking about the next one, and I'm excited for the next one. But yeah, it was an absolute blast. What's up, Sad? I miss Denver. Seems like it was way better than KC because of the people there. Yeah, like I don't know too many people that went to KC. I'm sure had I went with a group of people, it probably would have been great. One thing about like so many people being there, and I had this conversation privately with a lot of people. I've heard some people publicly say it. There's so many people. I'm not going to name individual names, but like there's so many people. It's like, man, I wish I really had another 3 hours to talk to that person. But when that list of people that I wish I talked to for 3 hours more is 30 people, that many, I wasn't in Denver for that many hours. So clearly that's not feasible. That couldn't have happened. But yeah, future events down the line, I'm sure we'll get to see a lot of those people again and again, which is great. Hello from Australia. How's it going down under? Are you still sending multiple orders out for $15 tier, just quicker than you planned with the October end date? Yeah, we only have a little over a week to go. I will be sending more. I think when all is said and done, if I had to guess, I'll probably be in the 300 to 500 range for how many I get out. Maybe 200 to 500 range. I know it's a wide range. It just depends on how much I get out. I do want to send some MetaZoo Seance. I do want to send some various MetaZoo promos. At 18, I sent MetaZoo sparingly, but I think at 15 it opens the door for a fair bit more. And then I have some stuff from the convention that I'll show for $15 PSA, and then just general stuff that I didn't get out of 18. Shadowless Jack, appreciate you. Cookie Fresh, Miss Denver. There's 7 collecticons next year. I'm not gonna go to all 7. I'll probably go to 3 of them. There'll be some people that go to all 7. There'll be some people like there'll be a lot of time to meet people. It's I'm planning to be here for a long time. 7 collecticons a year, multiple more Comic Cons, other events. Yeah, there'll be time to meet people. How's it going, Ancient Mew? Sales were great. So slabs didn't do amazing. I only moved a few slabs. I only brought like 15 slabs. Let me just show you what I brought that didn't sell. Let me see actually if I can find quickly. I should have queued up my Instagram. Let me pull up see if I can show what I started with and then what I ended with. One of my like primary things that I just always want to have at conventions is, sorry, I'm just trying to find my picture. So let me get a new, okay. So this is what we're working with. This is what I brought to the convention. This was my table, like before. I think this was before I sold anything. Let me actually go over. Let me go to this view. There we go. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this set up live. Never as prepared as I should be. I'll go over what I had in my thing. I bought a whole table, and I shared half of it with Vandy. Shout out Vandy Flips Pokemon, really cool dude. He was this, you can see the corner of it right there, but he was set up next to me sharing the table. Oops, I just screwed up there. I closed my window. There we go. I closed the window that I was actively using to show people. So sorry. There we go. We're back. You can see in the top left, there's a lot of packs. I want it to be like my brand. I want it to be my thing. When I'm at a convention, if you want to gamble, come find me. I'm gonna have heavy packs. I always, like, if you meet me in person, and it was funny because I had this comment multiple times. People are like, "Oh, you're just like you are on YouTube. You're given the same disclaimers. I very much am the same person on this YouTube channel as I am in oh, I've got the wrong window again. There we go. So yeah, I want people to know though that, like, I'm the guy. If you want to rip something, if you got an itch, you want to rip something, you want to gamble, I always preface it in real life, as I did with my sales pitch video. You're probably going to lose money, but it is so fun to rip packs in front of all these people. It's so fun to like be hanging out with friends and rip packs. So if you want to lose money and you got the money, you're fine losing it, you want to have an experience, I'm there. So out of all these packs you see, almost everything sold except for the Fossil First Edition heavies. For whatever reason, the Fossil First Edition heavies didn't go. Kind of surprised me. I had them priced at $450. I would have came down to like $400 probably if we're talking like cash. But yeah, I sold out of 4 Japanese fossil packs. I sold out of 3 Topps Chrome packs. 10, actually technically 10 Rocket First Edition heavies. They didn't sell but I consign them through somebody. For anyone who knows, Beehive's Poke Shop on Instagram, he has those. He'll be selling those in the coming days, weeks, months, whatever. He heard the price that I was selling them at, 500, and he was surprised none of them sold. He's like, oh, I can handle that for you. So I sent him off with the 10. 3 Japanese starter decks sold. I saw auctions recently go as low as like 405, so I priced mine at 400. PK mentioned last night we split one of them, and I sold one to Rock Pokemon, who's keeping it sealed, and I sold one to the Green Shiz, who opened his and got a Blastoise. I sold a 4th print base pack for 600. Guy pulled a Venusaur Hollow with the 1999 to 2000 copyright date. So it was really cool to see someone actually get a good hit and the 1999 to 2000 copyright date. A lot of the stuff that I sold, though, a lot of the packs, I sold them to Whatnot sellers who did not open them in front of me. They're going to sell them on to their Whatnot buyers. But I did see a couple, no, 3. 3 of my 4 heavy jungle packs got opened in front of me. I actually have some of the hits. I ended up buying some back. But as far as slabs go, so you see a lot of raw Metazoo in the middle. I had one guy come in buy $300 worth of raw Metazoo, as well as that CGC 8.5 UFO slab over on the right. Very few of my other slabs sold. I had a Mewtwo PSA 9 base unlimited listed for 100 that sold for 90. I had a cracked case Sword Shield 50 listed for 25. Some guy bundled that in with something else. I forget what, but oh yeah, the special delivery Pikachu. So I had special delivery Pikachu listed for 300, and the guy's like, I'll do that if you throw in the Sword Shield 50 with the cracked case. Other than that, though, you'll see I still have the Metazoo promo. This one I thought I had it listed on eBay for like 70 or 80. I actually sold one of these last night on eBay for 50. So I accidentally priced them at the same price. I should have listed it lower. But yeah, I had a few Metazoo promos that didn't, or Metazoo slabs that didn't sell. I have all 6 of my Fossil First Edition heavies. Shout out if anyone wants to buy some Fossil First Edition heavies, guaranteed hollow. I do have some more of those left. But there's another, I had a lot of people looking at the pig with bacon skis. I think just because I've mentioned him so much and kind of a meme on my channel. But yeah, these are the ones that didn't sell. And I mean, these are the reason that I grabbed these specifically. Someone might ask, why'd you grab these specifically? I didn't have them listed on eBay. So I figured it was a good thing to bring. I wasn't going to have to pull the listing from eBay. But as far as I could see, like, this had recent sales of 600. Had someone offered me 450 cash, I mean, if someone had offered me 400 cash, I might have just taken it. No big deal, though. I'll get them up on eBay. Things sell pretty regularly on eBay. I just, I mean, cash sales are nice. Cash sales are really nice. But yeah, let me continue on with the chat. Overall, like, I brought about 20K worth of stuff, and I sold about 8K, and then I put that $4,500, 5K worth on consignment with Beehive's Poke Shop. So I sold like 13K of the 20K I brought, which is really solid. I mean, I sold 8K with 5K being consigned. However you want to look at it, I feel like I did really well. Now I need to go out. I need to buy more boxes so that I'm ready for Orlando to have heavy packs. Alex says, I feel like I asked this yesterday, but I don't remember what the answer was. How much did those FPO packs sell for again? So I think the guy that bought the FPO packs, I don't think he wants the number out there. I do know it's a guy that I actually met him. I met him briefly in Charlotte or Orlando, I think. And then I got to talk to him more, which was cool to see him again. Master Set Games. I actually bought out his Troll and Toad Evo inventory recently. But yeah, I don't want to put a number out there that I'm not confident the person wants to be out there. But I know what the person was asking for. They were actually declined. It was a very, very good price for the buyer for Master Set Games. The Nintendo employee was asking a very, very low number, and one booth turned them down. I don't want to say the booth that turned them down either, but had they came to me asking what they had asked, one, other people probably would have heard, and there probably would have been a bidding war. But two, I would have just paid it. That was pretty crazy. Were the bags liquid? If you call heavy packs bags, which they kind of are because you're almost always going to lose money, those were very liquid. As I said, I sold a lot of them to Whatnot sellers who are gonna then sell them on. But I did also sell to just people who wanted to rip. A lot of people go to a convention, they want to like create memories and take home. They want to take home souvenirs. So ripping packs is just a common thing. Yeah, FPO is for position only. Um, search TCA Gaming's YouTube for FPO. He has a lot of videos in the past talking on the history of them. There's some really good articles on Elite Forum, Mount Moon, if you want to check those out. Test e-reader cards, basically. Oh yeah, Alex mentioning the same things. Been into Universe's My Hero Academia cards. Whatnot is getting allocation for cases at $4.20 a case for the third set of this card game. Does Whatnot do those deals to breakers as a dump of product? I don't fully know exactly how that relationship works. I know for one of the MetaZoo sets, it might have been Wilderness. Whatnot sellers had access to get wholesale pricing on MetaZoo through Whatnot directly from MetaZoo, as far as I understand. But yeah, I don't really know exactly how the relationship works. Did I pick up anything crazy? No. I split one of my Japanese starter decks with PK. PK ripped it, and we're like going 50-50 on it. I'm gonna send a bunch of the cards out at 15, see if we can make money. I got the cryptic promos I showed you. Basic trainer. Let me actually go back to the desk cam. Basic trainer gave me a GI Joe pack, and I actually ripped it. So here are my pulls from a GI Joe pack. I think he was surprised that I ripped it, but it's like, yeah, I mean, we're hanging out. I want to rip it with the boys. I want to see what's going on in here. I had to make sure it wasn't resealed too, so I had to rip it just to verify. Cobra Commander though, I think that's a big hit. I mean, I put that one in the penny sleeve. So I would say Cobra Commander was a huge pickup. Absolutely crazy. Let me show you the hits. Hopefully PK is fine with it. I did record it. I don't know if he recorded it on his phone, but he opened a Japanese starter deck, and these were our pulls. You get a tons of commons and uncommons. I'm not going to show the energies, but these are all sleeved. I'm not going to submit all of them blindly, but if they're like a guaranteed 10, I'll submit them at 15 so that we can start getting some of our money back. We did hit a Charmander. Always good to see. We hit the Charmeleon. When I saw these as to the common uncommon, I'm like, okay, we're going to get the trio. Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard, but we got Ivysaur, Bulbasaur, and we got a Magneton. So not the greatest, but that's what you get for ripping packs. So those were a couple pickups. I did actually do a part trade. Someone wanted a heavy base pack. They traded me 10 of these LGS promos, Sky Snakes. So they traded 10 of these in cash for a pack. Kind of a crazy story. Kind of a sad story. But oh wow, we got 60 people watching for me to tell this sad story. So I had jungle heavy packs for $450. Guy talked me down to 420. 420. I mean, you gotta go for it, especially in Denver. Guy talked me down to 420, and he ripped it. He basically, I forget his name. He was one of the people like doesn't have a channel, didn't want to be shouted out or anything. He just was hanging out, having a good time. I think he's trying to assemble a complete jungle set pack opening by himself, which I did years ago. Very expensive way to do it, but here was his first pack. I have his cards, so I'll get to that part of the story. He hit an Electrode. Not great. Actually, this was his second pack. I screwed it up. Anyways, this was his second pack. He didn't need an Electrode, so he's like, okay, can you just give me credit towards another heavy so I can try again? On his second try, this one is the first pack, but you'll see he hit another Electrode. So his first pack, it was actually really cool to see. One, he hit the Pikachu, which was like, I mean, that's your best common hit. He hit a Butterfree D-Edition error, though, which was really cool to see. He hit a Butterfree D-Edition error. It gave him a lot better. I gave him a good price on what I bought these back at because I just felt really bad. I bought this pack back for $200. I think PSA 9s of this go for like $150. PSA 9s of this go for like $100. But obviously you don't want to pay graded prices for raw. So I gave him $200 credit back for this. And then I bought this pack back for $100. There's a chance these Electrodes hit 8s. And I did a really bad job buying them back. But yeah, part of it was like I felt kind of bad. He bought 2 packs, ripped them. At the end of the day, like he left a lot of money with me. and I kept all the cards, and he took a couple empty pack wrappers. So that was a little bit of a cautionary tale on ripping packs. But fourth print pack was sold. Venusaur. The Green Shiz opened his starter deck. Blastoise. Another jungle heavy got sold. Vaporeon. Oh, it looks like we got a bot in here. Let me put that up. There we go. So yeah, overall it was a great convention. What else do I have? I showed my cryptic promos. I showed the cards I split with. Oh, here we go. I guess there are a couple other small things. I've got so many piles around the camera that I need to show. But shout out Ernesto. I think people were ripping Yu-Gi-Oh! And I think Ernesto gave this to my wife. She's like, I got a couple cards to give you. I think she gave him that too. I don't know. I don't remember exactly where these came from, but I think at Swami's people were ripping stuff, and Ernesto just like took this stuff off the table and gave it to my wife. So those are a couple pickups that'll go to the PC from the convention. And then shout out Lord Pokesmoke. So everyone knows, a lot of people know my my Squirtle squad, which I do need to get back in the background at some point. Shout out Lord Pokesmoke. He made me a Bigfoot squad. He threw the nice shades on there. So yeah, he gave me this Saturday night at the trade night. Great guy, awesome to meet you. And then as always, Brad, BG Cards and the Zard Hunter. Instagram I think is BG Cards. YouTube is the Zard Hunter. The Zard Hunter's right there. I see him in the live chat. So yeah, shout out to him. He gave me a 1952 walking half dollar, or 1942 walking half dollar. One of my favorite arts of like all the US type coinage. So always nice to see Brad at the conventions, and seems like he's always gonna have some kind of a coin for me, which is not needed. But on that note too, Brad did a nice thing for me, and I went and a card that he was interested in buying or trading for, I went and cracked it out. People might remember this from 6 weeks ago or so. I cracked out a PSA 3 base first Charizard, and this is what it got. So I upgraded a 3 to a 6. Anyone who remembers that live stream, there used to be like a black dot here, and I was worried that it was ink, so I kind of scratched it away. All that whitening there, I created that whitening. So I cracked out a PSA 3 base first Charizard. I whitened it, and it got a CGC 6. I'll have more things to show you in this live stream when it comes to like regrading cards, but yeah, that it's available for sale, low list on eBay as a CGC 6, but absolutely crazy the plays that can be made there. Shout out to Green Shiz. I met Josh in person for the first time Friday night at Swami's. I made one of the Green Shiz specials, upgrading a base versus Charizard. I'll probably have to do more now, because a PSA 3 to a CGC 6, that's definitely upgrades. Kind of crazy out there. Always buy the card, not the grade. Let me continue through the chat. Looks like I'm actually getting behind here. Definitely. I think everybody in Denver had a great time. Any Japanese sellers in the group, and was there much interest for Japanese as well as English from buyers? There's a lot of people who do Japanese in our section. I mean, as far as the convention goes as a whole, decent bit of Japanese out there. DNA had a lot of Japanese stuff. I think Retro had a decent bit of Japanese stuff. I think it was Sunday. I didn't go to the convention Sunday, only Saturday. I flew out Sunday at like 1:30 p.m. I think Retro got like bought out. He had a lot of Japanese stuff get bought out all at once. I saw DNA. This anyone who knows Whatnot going twice, Travis, he bought a ton from DNA. He bought a ton from like everybody at our section. He bought a bunch of heavy packs from me and some of my promos. He bought some Scream promos from me. So Japanese stuff was definitely moving. Pokemartin. Oh yeah. Pokemartin opened the Vaporeon from my jungle pack. That's right. Let me know how it grades when you get it back down the line. It looked borderline 8-9. It's not a 10 unless he gets absolutely just unbelievably lucky. But Obi-Wan Kenobi, how was the get together at Swami's house? Hope you all had a great time. Any crazy pack breaks or something else go down there? We played a lot of beer pong at Swami's, which was a lot of fun. Swami's was an absolute blast. He had a keg of the banquet beer, so I was partaking in that. I don't know how many people did, but I was partaking in the banquet beer. There were shots of Fireball. There was a lot of beer pong, a lot of ripping stuff. You actually saw in my image here, I had a Rudy kit. So this Rudy kit that I had in the case, no one ever asked about it. No one had any interest. You can't tell from this picture, but it was actually ripped on the top edge. I ripped one Friday night at Swami's, and I actually did well. I don't know where I put that. Let me see if I can find that quickly. Yeah, I've got my backpack right here. I've still got some of my dirty clothes in my backpack. Just loose in the bottom of my backpack is like all the stuff from the Rudy kits. But I cracked one Friday night at Swami's, and I actually did well. I actually did real well with it. I don't know where I put the cards. I gotta find the cards. Like I just had the pins and stuff in there. But yeah, I ripped my Rudy kit. I split the Japanese starter deck with PK, and I showed you what I pulled from that already. Rock Pokemon was ripping stuff. A lot of people were ripping stuff left and right. Harry Potter was being thrown all around. Jake had some Korean Yu-Gi-Oh. Uh, as should be. There was just a lot of stuff being ripped. Again, that's what happens at a lot of the conventions. But the Rudy kits. Let me show you the camera here quick. The way, for anyone who doesn't know, the Rudy kits, you got guaranteed a certain set of pins. And if the pins had a 69 to end the copyright date, you would, or not to end the copyright date, to end the serial number, you would get a redemption. You would get a case or something. None of my pins ended in 69, unfortunately. But yeah, I got a bunch of pins. I got these big flesh and blood dice. But I don't know where it went. I'll have to find it. But my first Rudy kit, I actually pulled the Rudy Claws, which is like one of the decent chase cards. I think maybe one out of 5 or 1 out of 6 Rudy kits will have it. Hopefully I didn't lose it, but somewhere I should have a Rudy Claus promo, which I'll add to my Rudy. That one's gonna be a PC item, a long-term inventory item, because I collect all the Rudy promos. But yeah, I mean, nothing absurd was cracked, but some E Series Japanese, decent bit of stuff. Let me see. Contemplating Dallas again. Dallas might be on my radar for next year just because of the timing. We'll have to see. How's it going, Josh? Nice to meet you. Yeah, go check Target for anyone who hasn't yet. I've seen in a lot of Discords that I'm in people linking it, and it's seemingly staying up for a long time. Target must have gotten like a million by themselves because I've seen dozens of people saying that they were able to get 2. Head counted Swami's. I was a little concerned that it was going to end up being like 100 people. Swami's house isn't like massive, and it probably peaked between 30 and 40. That was the thing. Like I knew of 30 people that were guaranteed going, said they were going to go, and they all showed up. Thankfully, like not a substantial amount more, because it worked out great with who was there. Had there been like 30 more or 50 more people, it would have been absolutely crazy. He did have really nice setup, kind of an open floor plan that we hung out in. You'll probably see a bunch of videos posted by other people from inside there. I might have some that I post from inside of there, me opening the Rudy kit. But Yeah, it was a blast. He had a nice like setup out back, playing beer pong on a table outside, had a nice little fire thing going on and some heaters. It was Denver in the fall. It was a little chilly, but it was great. Probably 40 people at the peak if I had to guess. Um with all the pre-order drops on Target, Pokemon Center, etc., will Zard UBC really be all that scarce or will there be an abundance of them? Thoughts on how they'll play in the market? I have no idea. I'm getting like 80 of them at 80 bucks a piece. I would not FOMO. Like, even if you miss it, I've said it before and I'll always say it. It's fine to miss things from time to time. It seems like there's many chances to get it at MSRP. Overall, I feel like getting it at MSRP is a fairly safe thing. I had to get another bot. I think getting them at MSRP is relatively safe. I feel better getting them at wholesale. So I'm not making any plays on the aftermarket. I'm not picking them up from Target. I'm saving them for other people because I'm getting them at 80. But yeah, like long term, I could see the thing being 300 within 6 months if people just go nuts with it. If the PSA 10 prices of the promos is really high and people are ripping it like crazy. I could also see it being 150 bucks. I could see it like if you buy it for 120 plus tax plus shipping, you might not make money. It might be flat. I could see it go either way. There's a lot of room in between. No idea. Electrode guy. um they're ample at release, but will be in high demand and will age well as a collector's item. They absolutely could. People don't believe it, but like Pokemon could print so many of that. There's a number that they could print that would hold that thing sub 150 for years. I don't think they printed that many. I don't know why they would, but Pokemon could print 10 million of them. That thing would not perform well. I don't think they're going to print 10 million though. Maybe a million, maybe 2 million. I don't know what the numbers are on these things, but they're going to print a lot of them. I know from your old videos you submitted Pokemon coins to PSA. I want to send some off in my next submission. Advice on prepping and submitting coins. Are they submitted the same as cards? I would do them. I did them in a penny sleeve, in a card saver, exactly like cards. So yeah, pretty much. So, sorry, Josh, if I wasn't supposed to leak anything. Yeah, I might have spoiled what Josh pulled on sorry for that. That's the problem. Like I watched I think Josh already did a little teaser video. Both Joshes. I saw the old card shop did one. I know PK did a video last night. I might try to do a live stream Friday or Saturday night if some people want to hop into that Discord voice or video chat. It's always weird when like you know a lot of people are gonna be wanting to talk about certain things and yeah. So sorry that I spoiled your pull. Only maybe 30 or 40 people heard it, so I won't say it again. John Doe says, got my 8th SDC delivered. Can't have too many $3.50 codes on deck. Codes aren't being sent anymore as code prices have risen. I only use 2 codes and then different credit card, different address. My Pokemon Center account wouldn't let me do another. I could have sent it to friends and family, and I didn't really get that involved in it, but I probably should have. How's it going, Metazul? Good morning. Did airport security rip some of my packs? First event I went to, which I was shocked, that I didn't get checked either way. I usually get checked. So before this event, I think I was checked 7 out of 8 times. Now I've been checked 7 out of 10 times. Not in Syracuse nor in Denver did I get checked. I was surprised. How's it going? Escape rope. John Doe. Professor Birch says, I'm new to Instagram and this is super noob question, but what is the proper trade or sale procedure on IG? How do you protect yourself from getting scammed? My general recommendation would be to use a protected payment method like PayPal goods and services. Unless you're someone's friends or family, I would not recommend using PayPal friends and family. The fee of PayPal goods and services is so low and reasonable to get that buyer protection that would be, yeah, that's my general take on it. Danny says, what do you think about the current bids for the CGC 9.5 Illustrator only at 290K and PSA 10 GS Rayquaza at 26K? Seems market is dead silent at upper end. I don't mean to like pick on you specifically, but like this kind of commentary is always very interesting to me. Oh, an auction, this auction is only at this price. There's time to go. Like you don't know what the auction ends at until it ends. I don't understand when people say like, "Oh, it's been a week and there's only a week left and it's only at this." I've seen auctions move. I've seen auctions 10x in the last minute. Um so yeah, like commenting mid-auction on why a price is where it's at. I mean, some two people could come in and place $1 million bid, and it could go over 1 million. So I just don't understand. It doesn't mean anything. The auction's not over. If it ended at 290, then the conversation happens. But until it ends, I mean, it can go for any price. Um, what's the age demographics like at Denver? How many kids? 19 to 39, 40 plus. Any fundamental differences in buying behavior that you picked up? Ooh, that's a lot. I am not like a super perceptive person. I was only there for Saturday. Decent amount of all ranges, I would say. Primarily, probably in our 30-year-old plus or minus 5 years. But yeah, there's probably someone out there who paid more attention and could answer that better, but I couldn't really attribute a percentage to each. I saw a decently diverse crowd though. How's it going, head Pokemon? Yeah, I got that bot. That one was me. I highly suggest checking out some online courses on speed reading. No offense, but you really need to improve on keeping up with chat. It'd make growth way more successful. Yeah. Great to see you, Brad. Pokey Smoke drank all my vodka. I'm all set. uh the walking liberties are beauties, absolutely. The mystery gunk on the CGC6 Zard. Big upgrades. I carved the card into a 6. Let me try to speed read and get caught up on chat. Um yeah, Alex and I had the same goods and services. Middlemen can be a thing too, but like I never really understood, except unless you get really high end, the middleman thing. One thing I don't like about middlemen, you have to ship it twice. So the odds double that it's going to get lost in the mail. And most times if you have to ship something twice, if it's less than $1,000, it's going to cost more money to use a middleman and ship something twice than it is just to pay the $35 goods and services fee. So yeah, that's why goods and services is just a good way to go, I think. How's it going, Mertz? Nice to meet you in person. I did not get a 69 pin. You say booyah. Unfortunately, I opened 2 boxes. I do have 6 total. I bought my whole allocation of 4. I have 2 more I traded. I traded with Ray. I think he kind of scammed me. I traded, I think, 10 Charizard UPCs for 2 Rudy kits. And this trade was done a few weeks back when the night actually, I think. Yeah, it was done shortly before the release of Rudy kits. So we didn't know how the pricing was going to go on those. We didn't know how the pricing was going to go on Charizard UPCs. But I made that trade and I might rip one more kit at some point. We'll see. Yeah, Ernesto says about 35 people at Swami's. Speak that Chu saying him and Jake ran the tables. My wife and I did really well. I mean, we I think we won a few in a row to start. Later on in the night, my wife retired. She went to bed before I did. I closed up the party. Me and Josh were playing Jake and PK, and it was a good time. Ernesto wants to call in. I don't think I'm gonna do a call in just because I'm gonna run fairly short today. Friday or Saturday night, I'll probably do as I mentioned, a live stream on my channel with whoever wants to from the Collecticon Discord, and people can feel free to call in. But yeah, it was an absolute blast. Oh god, we might not make money. um, is the Target UPC sold by Target though? Is it? Oh yeah, the Charizard UPC that people are talking about, it's not from third party sellers. It's straight from Target themselves. So Collecticons sound like fun. Was there something that people were especially looking for and trying to buy? Was Pokemon popular overall? I think Pokemon did really well overall. My general take from my experience at Collecticon is that the hobby is alive and well. As I said, I always bring heavy packs. People always, not everybody by any means. A lot of people are much more financially prudent, unlike myself, and they don't want to rip anything. They just want to buy the cards they want. But a decent amount of people, it's a common theme. People are in person, hanging out with their friends. They want to rip something. So something I always want to have with me is heavy packs, and I nearly sold out of them. Um, Other than that, the screen promos that I had all sold out, which is a common theme. Happened to me at both the prior conventions. Uh, a lot of things did well. I'm sure, like around YouTube, around the YouTube space, around the whole old school Pokemon block of tables that we had. You'll hear everyone recount their individual sales, and people did well. Probably my video next Monday will be more in depth. It won't like this during this 2 hour live. I'm gonna show you most of what I sold. I already talked about it, but I'll probably put it in a standalone video for Monday where I go over my style with a spreadsheet and all that. Um, Professor Birch has got the wife trying to get the Target UPC purchased. The Zard Hunter did not get checked at TSA either, first time in a while. I think I got a 7 out of 8 ratio too. UPCs are still up on Target as of 6 minutes ago. Ernesto says the main demographic in Denver was young men, I'll say. Slightly more slightly more politically correct. Vandy seconds it. No content from the party. I personally, like, I looked back at what I took for pictures and videos in Denver. When I opened my Rudy kit, I handed off my phone to my wife, so she recorded that. I recorded PK opening the Japanese base set starter deck that we split. I took like 10 pictures, and like 3 of them were of my meals. I'm one of those, I don't post it on Instagram, but like I took a picture of a nice steak that I went to. My wife and I did dinner by ourselves before we went to Swami's. We went to a fancy steakhouse, a little bit of a date night thing. I had a picture of my steak there. I had a picture of my Denver omelet from Saturday morning, or no, from Friday morning. That was really, really good. Again, like just a date breakfast thing with the wife, just me and her, before we got into hanging out with all the DGens for the whole weekend. I took like almost no pictures though. I think I had 1 or 2 random pictures from the trade night of everyone huddled around when they were cracking the FPO packs, and I might have had 1 picture of the room at Swami's. When I'm at these events, I'm not the guy that's going to be making the content. I just don't think about it. I've always got my hands are full between rip whatever pack I'm ripping, whatever drink I'm drinking. I don't have room to take my phone out and take pictures. So, yeah, thrifty. Not tax advice, but no pictures equals no evidence for the IRS, baby. Oh, here we go. Ernesto, hit up Ernesto in the DMs. He took a lot of pictures that compromise your favorite YouTubers. Tap in. uh so we were Johnny Boy. Unfortunate to hear you didn't get to see us, but I we were when you walked in, Whatnot was like not immediately in front of you, I don't think. I think they were too deep. We were like adjacent to Whatnot. We were near Cryptic. We were right there, like kitty corner to the right when you walked in. But we'll be there down the line more. We're already a lot of the people who went to Denver, it sounds like are going to Orlando as well. So I'm sure Orlando will be a blast too. Dan wife PSA 10. But one comment my wife had, she's like, I'm pretty sure Ernesto was just trying to get on my good side so that you're allowed to hang out with him at future Collecticons. But yeah, my wife had a good time. A lot of people chatting with her and had good things to say about everybody. I'm allowed to hang out with everybody. My wife came. I'm still allowed to go to conventions moving ahead. So that's good news. She was impressed with the quality of people in our group. So that was always that was good to hear. I had no concerns going into it. I mean, I brought my wife to the convention, so I had no concerns, and I think she was pleasantly surprised with the quality of people that I hang out with, which was good. Um, 50 just woke up. Do you ever try to get a good amount of singles at these shows to grade and flip? I try to not buy. When I go to conventions, I always pack light. I shout out Frontier, shout out Cody TCAS. um, I overstuff a backpack and I take it as my personal item. I've always done that. When I went to Vegas last year, when I went to Orlando, Charlotte, historically, like earlier non-Pokemon travel, I always I always would just pack a personal item. I don't like checking bags. I don't like paying for carry-ons. Frontier though, Frontier dinged me for $100 each bag. My wife's bag and my bag. The stupid thing is, the box that they have you try to cram it in is like this size, and under the seat is like this size. So it's an absolute racket. I paid $100 for my bag, and I'm like, okay, are you guys gonna check it now? Like, it's got to go under the plane. Oh no, take it on, put it where you would have put it anyways. Just give us $100. Absolute racket. Cody Cody TCAS is actually in the chat. Oh man, that's funny. But yeah, not recommend Frontier from my experience with them. Thankfully, on the way back, they were super understaffed. There was one lady at the gate. It took like 35 minutes to board the plane. They were taking forever. They weren't upcharging anybody because they didn't have the time to. But yeah, Cody TCAS, he gets all the bag up charges. So the man's making money. The man's got a good salary. Um Frontier and Spirit are devils. Um Future graded guard sponsorship. Min's a great dude. I met Min in Charlotte. I had my trophy Pikachus with me because I was doing the deal with Rusty. I brought my #1 trophy Pikachu to Charlotte in case Rusty wanted to buy it. I made a video on it. We were apart on pricing. It didn't happen, but I showed Min when I met him for the first time. I showed him my #1 Pikachu in the graded guard, and he was very very happy to see that. It's great. It's great advertisement for the brand when he gets to see such beautiful cards, such great cards in the graded guards. He stopped by my booth. I actually saw him again in Denver. Great to see him again. I had my Squirtle Squad there, so he took a picture of that one. I think he shared a story. I don't know where I put. I need to find where I put Squirtle Squad. I need to find where I put my. Oh, I just found him. I just poured him out of my dirty clothes. But yeah, they were in my bag. I was a little worried I lost them, but hopefully I didn't wreck them. Let me see. I can show you some more of my hits. One thing that I always like keeping too, I need to get them all together. I keep all my badges from these events because at every event, like at some point 10 years down the line, I probably will have gone to like 50 different events, and it will be hard to keep track of which one's which. But as of now, like I've been to so few, when I see my Orlando Collecticon badge, I think of the Vesuvian doppelganger that I had pulled in that box break. I think of like the individual people I met. When I look at the Vegas one, uh, each one like brings back those memories. Oh, I did keep a GI Joe pack sealed. I forgot about that. Basically gave my wife one too. I do have a sealed GI Joe pack as well to go with the singles that I ripped. Um, Inside of my Rudy kit, there was actually a magic pack too. I forget what set it was. Maybe I don't even remember what set it was, but I did rip the pack that was inside my thing. I got a few magic cards from inside there. Where'd the other ones go? This was Rudy's medal. This was a guaranteed hit inside the 6.9th anniversary box. So that one I got, but that one you were guaranteed. Oh yeah, and I got my dud box. I was told these were fine. Ray told me. I don't know if I fully believe him because it's Ray. But Ray told me that these were fine. These were 3 fab promos that are like I don't know what they are exactly. I need to look into it, but he pulled up some eBay comps. Maybe they're like $100 a piece or somewhere in that vicinity. Then I also do have two of these fab cards that you can get, like they're blank, so you can get them sketched by an artist. Um, somewhere I don't know where it went, but there should be a Rudy Claus promo too. Very, very disorganized still, as you can see. But yeah, anyways, somewhere there's a Rudy Claus. I'll hopefully find it eventually. Orlando is. Let me see if I can find it. Orlando is February sometime. It's been posted in a bunch of different Discords. Problem is, I'm looking in the wrong one, probably. Oh, here we go. So Orlando is February 25th to 26th. Um, I'm sure. It looks like. Let me give. The Professor Oak YouTube posted in a Discord that KevBot just shared it. It looks like it was in a Heritage magazine or something. I'm sure Collecticon will be posting it more publicly on their Instagram and elsewhere, but it sounds like it's already published in a Heritage magazine. Orlando's in February 25th to 26th, Dallas May 6th to 7th, Kansas City June 25th to 26th, Long Beach August 26th to 27th, Charlotte September 16th to 17th, Denver October 7th to 8th, and Houston November 4th to 5th. So I know that was really quick, but that was the lineup for 2023. Initially looking, not firm commitment by any means. Orlando's an almost definite for me. Maybe Dallas, just because it's a different one, and then probably Charlotte again. Charlotte and Denver are like 3 weeks apart, so I don't think I would do both. Initially, I was thinking I'll just do the same ones I did, Orlando, Charlotte, Denver, but I really don't want to do 2-3 weeks apart. So tentatively, Orlando, Dallas, Charlotte, perhaps, but we'll see. Old Man Ketchup just made his first purchase from my eBay store. Appreciate that. Hope you use the affiliate link down below. That way I would pay less fees to eBay, but no, just kidding. Absolutely appreciate it. Brad says he's going to try to vend. Nick said I'm at the top of the list. I called dibs early. I think we're going to get 2 sections in Orlando. I think Nick, Pallet Town, and Crystal want to do like half a section by themselves. We had a full section, 10 tables. Nick only had 1 table. I only had half a table. A lot of people were splitting tables. I mean, as we get closer, whenever tables become available, I think the play is to go for 2 sections. If I needed to, I would probably. I just lost my train of thought because I'm reading Ernesto saying how I suck at telling stories. But that's why I want to do a live stream either Friday or Saturday where Ernesto and other people would be in it. But yeah, two sections I think we could fill. 20 tables I'm pretty sure we could fill. Bandy says the donut plug was life-saving Saturday morning. That's all I ate. My wife got a pretzel at the convention too, which was terrible. These conventions, terrible food. $5.50 for a bottle of soda or a bottle of water. But usually I'm up till 5 a.m. drinking the night before. I'm not very hungry. I had a donut and I had half a pretzel, a terrible $7 pretzel. And that's all I ate before dinner Saturday night. Dinner, I went out with Jake, his girlfriend. I got to meet Rainy Day Collectibles, which was really cool. Mason, Nick, my wife. Dinner Saturday night was really cool. We went to a brewery. I don't remember what the brewery's called, but they had a good IPA. That's all I remember. What was your Rudy Metazoo promo? So yeah, the guaranteed one I got, the 6.9 year, and then I also got the Rudy Claus. So I got the good hit. I don't know where it is. I can't show you, unfortunately, but you can search on eBay what the Rudy Claus is. Have you talked about your wife's experience and how she used her time trying to get mine to go? Her time, I mean, it was generally just hanging out with me. She's fairly introverted, but I did see several times her talking to different people. We did a little bit of like our own thing. Friday morning we did breakfast ourselves. Friday afternoon we did meet up with everybody and we went to Mile High Comics. That was actually pretty cool. I'm not a big comic guy, but they had a decent amount of cards. They had a lot of like action figures and all different kinds of things. Really cool to meet up with everyone there and then to see what they had there. But we broke off for our own dinner thing. The thing is, like 50 people were there, 30 something people at Swami's, 50 plus people total that we were hanging out with. You can't all go to dinner together. So I'm like, we'll just do our own thing for dinner. Went to a fancy steakhouse. So we had good experiences on our own. And then we had, I mean, together it was just like we were hanging out. She was, but I saw her chatting with a lot of different people. And I think a lot of people were trying to get her outside of her shell. Ernesto was throwing her cards at Swami's and yeah. Token Fun says blank. I thought they were supposed to already have a 1/1 sketch. Maybe some do, but the ones I got were both blank. I got 2 blank Fab promos. Ernesto says, Yo, Dan, how come I don't have FOMO for UPC? Should I be FOMOing? If I didn't have 80 coming wholesale for $80 a piece, I would definitely be buying 2 or 4. I wouldn't be buying like 20 at retail by any means. It could be a good play, but I don't know. If I were you, Ernesto, not financial advice, but I would buy 2. That's my thought. Um, you got to bribe your wife in. Your average player says Mr. Walrus. Orlando, there's an easy bribe that's ready to go, at least for my wife. Disney. A lot of people are already talking about doing Disney, Universal before or after. I might do Disney with the family in the week leading up to Orlando. We'll see. But there's an easy bribe that expensive but easy bribe for anyone who needs to bring I'm reading the live chat. Um Yeah, Disney's an easy way to, I think, bait a lot of significant others to come to Orlando. I use Disney World, yeah. So Zard Hunter saying exactly what I was just saying. I stole the magazine Dan referring to. I can confirm the magazine exists because I own it now. How much does it cost to get a little spot with y'all at con? A section, I think we paid about 2K. It's extra for the cases. So if you get cases for your table, the cases most people use, $40 a case. I think the retail price of one table is like a little over 200. If you get 2 cases with it, put your cards in, it's like 300 for a table. We got the section for a little under 2K. You get like a bulk discount for getting 10 tables at once. And then 10 tables, 20 cases. Not everyone got the cases, but it would be like an extra $800. Figure approximately 250 to $300 for a table with 2 cases. If you don't want the cases, a little under 200. Some people were splitting though. Like so I don't know exactly how it all worked. Nick booked it. I paid for my table and cases. And then yeah, some people like borrowed space. I wasn't there Sunday, so I just let like the Spicy Boys have my case for Sunday. Dan sucks at telling stories. It was super lit with all the homies together. Maximum sale, maximum tequila shots till 5 a.m. I didn't do any tequila shots myself, but Basic did bring tequila. Oh, that would have been the end of me if I did tequila. But I did Fireball. Don't even really like it, but I did Fireball. Um, Ernesto is a human candy walking around in person. Ernesto is a party animal confirmed. If I recap the event, everybody getting canceled. Oh God. Basing Cardinal Gaming was a gem. Absolutely. He's a treasure. Bandy's trying to get the fiance to go to Orlando. Dan's wife's super cool. She's just quiet. She's 1/5 Dan's size, but keeps Dan in line. Dan's whipped. So Ernesto's way off base here. Not whipped by any means. She left. I didn't send her on her own into a lift in Denver, but people were lifting out from Swami's at like 1:30 in the morning. My wife knows me. I stay at the party till the party ends, always. Like I'm gonna be the one going to bed last, hanging out till the very end. These weekends only happen a few times a year, so I need to like squeeze every bit of interaction out of them as possible. So she Ubered out at 1:30 a.m. She let me hang out, and I was at Swami's till like 4, and she was fine with that. So um only Ernesto says only 5 out of 100 people were losers. Everyone else was a legend. For real, for real. uh Javal says 4 UPCs coming. I think that's the play. Drifty needs some butterbeer. Hit up Universal. Hit up Harry Potter World. Who takes care of the kids while you guys are out? I didn't bring my kids to Denver. My kids stayed home. My kids went to their grandparents, my parents' house. So my kids and my dog went to the grandparents' house, and my wife was actually kind of sad when we got back because my kids had such a good time at their grandparents' house, which is like a great problem to have, that they had so much fun. And my son's already asking like, oh, when can we go stay 3 nights at Papa and Grandma's again? I'm like, maybe Orlando. We'll see. Yeah, more Collecticons on the East Coast would be awesome. Not having to fly so far would be great. Dan's wife, yeah, he sucks at leaving. I just don't leave. The party doesn't end if you don't leave, so I overstay my welcome always. With that, I'm fully caught up on chat. Let me show a couple more things. I'm doing that whole like slab optimization thing. I have a PSA sub that's coming back later this week that I should be showing off like next week in a live chat, probably in a live stream. But I got a funny return from CGC included. Oh yeah, I should have mentioned too. Let me talk a little bit further. About the Charizard. I sent this bulk tier. So this went bulk tier at CGC. It did not get upcharged. I paid $13.50 to grade this card. One thing, I had never heard of someone getting upcharged at CGC. So I wanted to try to be the first one. I wanted to try my luck. I don't recommend it because had this card gotten lost in the mail, had something happened, CGC would have only paid me out like the $100 I declared it at. But yeah, I declared this at $100, I think. No upcharge, no nothing. It blew my mind. Another card that I upgraded, I couldn't find the PSA thing, but if you watch an earlier video, you would see it. I cracked this from a pack that I bought from Rusty earlier in the year. It used to be a PSA 6. On the back, it's got like some little indents on somewhere. Somewhere it's got some little indents. But anyways, it was a PSA 6, so that went to a CGC 8. That was a big upgrade. But I had a ton of Masaki promos that were really low grade. And they were graded back when, one thing I always hear, when you grade with subgrades, especially early on, like these are 3-7 certs. So these were early grades. If you grade with subgrades, especially if you did it when they were grading harder, you got wrecked, you got destroyed. The grades were so tough. These were 5 Alakazams. I don't have them in order. I don't know which Alakazam was which. So I went from a 6, 7, 7, 7.5, 8.5. I went from these grades to these grades. 5.5, we went down, we lost money. 6.5, we went down, we lost money. 6.5, we lost again. 7.5, we broke even. 7.5, we lost money. So everyone who's talking about CGC is grading so much easier, if you graded with subgrades, you got wrecked, always buy the card, not the grade. These grading companies, CGC, BGS, PSA, how many videos have to happen where cards get regraded and the grades change? Sometimes, overall, I will agree, CGC is generally grading easier. But look at what happened to me here. The hardest way they ever graded was back in the day with subgrades, supposedly. Now they're grading the easiest they've ever graded. There's James. Of course, James here to watch me get wrecked. Don't worry, James. I have a few more. But supposedly, this is the easiest they've ever graded, grading without subgrades. Every card went down, one stayed flat. So there's my Alakazams. We're just getting started. I had a ton of these. My cost basis in these Masakis was 0. So I figured it was a fun little experiment to try. Now we got Machamp. 7, 7, 8. We went to a 6.5, 6.5, 7. Like, what's going on here? CGC's grading so much easier that I lost half a grade to a full grade on every card. And I'm not arguing that CGC's not grading easier, because they are. They absolutely are. It's atrocious what these grading companies do and how inconsistent they are, and the fact that they change their scales, and the fact that everyone just like is fine with it. But yeah, down half a grade there on the Golem. These are all like free, 0 cost basis. I had no money into these. I sold them all recently. This one's funny though. I got one upgrade out of all those Masakis. I went 4 8s, the 7, 7.5, 8, and an 8.5. So I had one big upgrade for the day. All those Masakis that I cracked, my cost basis in these is 0. They're all actually sold. I had one guy hit me up who wanted to get just a bunch of low grade Masakis, but 2 years ago, peak bubble, slightly pre-bubble too, I was buying Masaki sets for $1,000 a piece. Complete sets, raw. Some of them were mint, some of them were not. A lot of the 10s and 9s already sold. I never hit a 10 Gengar. I did hit a 10 Alakazam. I bought like 20 or 25. I bought like 20 or 25 Masaki sets for $1,000 a piece in a span of maybe 6 months. And I killed it with them. The Gengars would pay for the lot most times. The Alakazam sometimes would be needed, but most of those were like free. Most of those Omastars, Machamps, I graded them back in the day with CGC, got destroyed on the I did a lot better. All those would be PSA 6 and less because they all have Masaki marks, but I should have just sold them as is. I wanted to crack them though to see. Yeah, still plus or minus on all these. Absolutely, I'm within the margin of error for these grading companies, but when you see an old slab label with subgrades, don't just automatically think, oh, CGC's grading easier today, I'm guaranteed to buy this, crack this, and go up. So, yeah, it's always buy the card. Always buy the card. It's these grading companies are not very consistent, not very great at their only job. Their only job is to grade the cards, and they don't do it that well. Let me get back to the chat a little bit. There's my little CGC rant. Trying to look at what else I had to show. I had a little list somewhere. Let me see if I hit it all. Yeah, I think that's everything. I've never heard CGC upcharge. Anyone? Either have I. Has anyone in chat ever heard of a CGC upcharge? I mean, I graded the MetaZoo promo too. Oh yeah, let me quickly show what else was in this submission. So, I mean, that Charizard, the PSA 3 was probably $3,000. The CGC 6 might be like 4 or 5. I think I listed it like 5,800, but I'd take quite a bit less. If anyone's interested in a CGC 6 Charizard that used to be a PSA 3, hit me up. The Greensha is actually sold in person at Denver. The Charizard that he upgraded from a PSA 6.5, I think, to a PSA 8, to a CGC 8. Yeah, if anyone wants that, hit me up. But a roughly $5,000 card not getting upcharged. This one's probably a $1,500 card not getting upcharged. Here are some of the other cards that I got back in that submission. I mean, I think a lot of these would be over the low. Well, not a lot, but some of them. I got some screen promos that got rough grades. They were in rougher shape though. It was expected. These ones weren't mint. That's why I sent them to CGC. Some of them did have dents actually, but I had a bunch of these from a recent collection buy. EV Heroes cards. Some VMAX Climax that I pulled. But it was a fun little CGC return. These are actually all on eBay now, if anyone's interested. But to see that I didn't get upcharged on those was pretty funny to me. I thought I had. Here's a few more. This Indigo Plateau was actually a crack. I had an 8.5. I cracked it and I got an 8.5 again. So they did hit the same grade there. There's the Empoleon. They didn't. And there's my 3 CGC ones. I'm going to have to hit up the old card shop and see if he wants these CGC ones. But yeah, CGC apparently doesn't upcharge, which is funny. Cheval says, more financial advice, please, Dan, because I can't tie my shoes myself. What do I do with the 4 UPCs? Sell 2, grade 1, and keep 1. So you open 1. If the Zards are minty, you sell them at 50, or you grade them at 50 or 100, and you go first to market and you make a bunch of money. If the first one is clean, maybe you crack another one until they're not clean. If they're all clean, I mean, crack all 4, grade them all, rinse and repeat if you can buy more at retail. It seems as if a lot are being printed, though. It seems as if a real lot are being printed. I would be shocked. I would benefit financially greatly if these were able to go to 300 in any short time span. It would blow my mind, though. I would be shocked. I have like 80 coming in. I'm probably going to crack like 10 of them to grade the promos and to sell the other parts, but we'll see. Cross grading adds another fun element to go after. Slab optimization is always fun, especially when you get wrecked. Brought to you by CGC. Yeah. Are most of the cards you grade from your personal collection, or do you acquire individual cards, card lots? I acquire a lot of lots. I buy a lot of collections. I actually have a massive binder collection coming to me soon. It's supposed to be here today, actually, I think. But that's going to be a fun one. That's going to be a real fun one to go through. Hopefully, if it's as advertised, it'll probably be a lot of cards to grade. It'll probably be a decent amount of cards near mint for my Troll and Toad Evo. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that binder collection that's coming in. Hashtag only punished. Yeah. ZNG Emporium gave me the financial advice that I would never be punished if I graded the card, so I followed it. He scammed me. James scammed me. And then he laughs at me and tells me I got wrecked after he was saying it's impossible to get wrecked. So, but yeah, personal collection as far like I don't have much of a personal collection. There are not many cards that I wouldn't sell for market. I have inventory. I have some long-term inventory that I hold a little tighter. I price a little higher than my shorter-term inventory that I'm more willing to flip at or below market. But 20 years from now, I'm going to own less than 10 slabs probably. I'm going to own my childhood binder of raw cards. I might own a couple of binders that I assemble for myself, but I have way too much right now. I own way too much. Too stacked with inventory. Love you, CGC. Quoted Poking Knowledge Cards 2021. Never had a CGC upcharge. Here we go. Cheval's has got it. They don't upcharge you. They just grade your cards harsher to punish you. They gave me the CGC 6 Zard, though. So 500 is their ceiling for bulk. I surpassed that with at least. So a lot of these didn't go over 500, but Charizard and Wendigo certainly did. But yeah. Can't handle the spoilers. Note to Dan. Note to self. Dan has loose lips. What else did I spoil? Did I spoil something else again? Oh man. Professor Birch got his Charizard UPCs. Good to see. Congrats on retiring young. Professor Birch just hit financial independence with some Charizard UPCs. Secret Shop Cards has also graded cards over 1,000 at bulk, never upcharged. Disclaimer though, like if and when a card gets lost, they're only gonna pay you out what you value it at, what you declare it at. So be careful. I did it. It was probably dumb, but if you send a multi-$1,000 card out at bulk and it gets lost, or if the package doesn't make it, you're gonna be capped out on your insurance payout. So be careful there. Charizard UPC is still up for sale. Maybe they made 10 million of them just to like absolutely cash in. Maybe this is their magic 30th anniversary. Like instead of making $1,000 box with 4 packs, they're just gonna make a Charizard UPC. They're going to dupe everybody. They're going to print 10 million of them. They're going to be available at retail for 120 bucks for the next like 10 years. That would actually be hilarious if they did that. What's the optimal sitting cutie size? All of them. They're all optimal size. The optimal collectible, actually. In 20 years, I'll own more sitting cuties than I do graded cards. And if I'm lucky, I'll own graded sitting cuties if PSA starts grading them. How's it going, Oak? Looking forward to meeting you in Orlando. Chavals is calling for $55 UPCs in a month. The new Battle Styles ETB. Bold call. Is Target actually going to fulfill the pre-orders or cancel them a day before? I hope they fulfill all of them. I hope 10 million was the print run. That'd be awesome. We've been assured 4 waves in Norway. I have 2 waves. I have the main wave coming where I'm getting like 66 from one distributor, and then I'm getting like 24 more from the next wave. I'm getting over 100 between the 2 waves. A lot of people are getting a lot of them, and Target seems to have a lot of them. Just got here. Did we make money? We absolutely made money in Denver. It was a blast. We made money. We made friends. We made all the good things. Denver was a movie, I believe is what they say. Denver was a movie. Oh, Secret Shop says it was worth over 1,000 because of the grade. Raw would not fetch nearly that amount. So don't pre-order through Target a second order because Andrew James says that they cancel if you do that. So don't be greedy, or at least if you're greedy, use another address, credit card, all that good stuff. Devals is saying he doesn't think they can go lower than 150. I hope everyone thinks that. There's a number that they could print that would do that. I just don't think they're crazy enough to do it. It would be hilarious though if they did. If they just literally printed 10 million of them, that thing would be sub 150 for a while. If they tell me, hey, wave 3 February, you're getting 250 more, I'd question whether or not I wanted to take them if I was getting 250 more. As long as I can grade and sell first to market, I don't care how many they make. That's absolutely the mindset that you have to have. Shout out Java Okuma. That's the play. First to market, who cares? Hot potato. The Illustrator was graded at bulk 2 for $15. If that's true, that is insane. If that's true, Blake is insane. I think he put subgrades on it though, didn't he? Subgrades at bulk is like $15 extra, so maybe he paid $30 to grade it. Are you opening one or multiple for the first opening? Charizard UPCs are you talking about? I'm going to open... I'll take a case. So I'll open a sealed case of 4, and I'll open 1 from it. If it's clean, I'll rip the whole case. If it's like PSA 9, if it's OC, if it's rough, I'll go into another case and open 1 from that case. And if I get wrecked and all my conditions are horrible, I'll just sell everything sealed. I won't make the play on graded, but I think I'll make the play on graded on at least a few. Yeah, I agree, Josh. Josh with the spoilers. So me and the Green Shiz wrecked PK and Jake in beer pong. Ernesto confirming it was a movie. Brandon, appreciate you. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. 92 watching somehow. 90. Maybe I got to do more morning live streams. This is the most I've had watching in quite some time. I appreciate everyone hanging out. I'm going to go for about another half an hour. Half an hour gets me to lunchtime. I do have a parent-teacher conference I have to go to. Hopefully my son's been doing good in school. Let me show all this talk about serialized cards. Will we ever get serialized cards in Pokemon? I don't know. But I made my first foray into serialized cards recently, and I'm pumped with them. So anyone who doesn't know, I'm actually sporting the shirt right now. Let me go back full screen quick. New York Rangers, they're young. They made it to the conference finals last year. They've got an absolute beast of a goalie, Igor Shesterkin, filling in Henrik Lundqvist skates, and he's doing a great job so far. So I got one of them was numbered to 999, 729 out of 999, PSA 9 mint. Rookie auto from Igor. I think I paid like $300 on this. No idea. No idea if I paid way too much, way too little. Only 999 in the world. This one, this one's not a rookie, but it's numbered to 10. It's an Igor Shesterkin, numbered to 10. 6 out of 10. I paid like 90 bucks for this. 10 in the world. I paid 90 bucks. When I look at some of the Pokemon cards I sell for 90 bucks, to me, it felt like a decent buy. But I just figured I'd show off one of my recent purchases there. Igor Shesterkin card, yeah. How's it going, Ava? Met Ava out in Denver as well. Nice to meet you. I started really early today. You know why, Ava, though? You know what? You just told me. You just admitted that you didn't subscribe and ring the bell. Because if you had rang the bell, you'd get a notification every time I went live. So calling herself out for not being a true fan with the bell rang. Hockey bags, love that for you, Dan. Yeah, I'm not like making a play. They're absolute like collector boy purchases. Little bit. I guess they're a little bit like speculative. I am bullish on the Rangers over the next 10 years. I'm bullish on them having the ability to win a cup or two. If and when they win a cup, and if and when some of these cards like go up a bunch, I probably will sell. So I say they're collector boy purchases, but if the flip's there, I'm gonna flip. Woke up at 5:30 and fell asleep till 10. If you're asleep, forgivable then. Forgivable. Earliest live stream I've ever done and one of the better turnouts. So maybe I'll switch to morning live streams. We'll see. Did anyone pick up any of the 25th anniversary Japanese gold boxes on the Amazon Japan store? I didn't personally. Admitting the bell's not on, so it doesn't appreciate the shade. What would you recommend purchasing on Troll and Toad with around $100 worth of credit? $100 worth of credit, it gets you an ultra modern booster box. If you feel like ripping something, you're probably gonna lose money, but ripping stuff is fun. You lose money for a reason. They printed a lot of it. It's an experience to rip it. So other than that, if you've got any big collection goals and there's a gap in one of your binders, look for that. I know a guy, Catch 'em All Collectibles. He has a lot of stuff on Troll and Toad. One thing that I wish they had on Troll and Toad, I wish you could search by merchant. There's no way to click a link and see only what I have on Troll and Toad. So you can't just seek me out, only my listings. But yeah, absolutely. $100 of credit gets you $100 of Dan's cards. That's the play right there. Question for Dan: if Chaval's made me sell his junk slabs while he did nothing, how much percent does he owe you? 10% feels fair. 10% cash feels fair. Chaval stalled a couple baddies for Skater Nesto. Um, oh god. Thrifty saying he owes 100%. Um, what else? I think I covered everything I have on my desk. Denver was a lot of fun though. I did talk about the FPO opening. I guess I talked about it a little bit, but I didn't say what they opened. So for anyone who wants to see the FPO opening, PK went live for it. He went live for 3 minutes or so. They opened no Charizards, but they opened like multiple Blastoises. They opened a couple Alakazams. They made money. They absolutely made money. Again, I can't say what they purchased it for, but they did well. They did very well. Let's see. What if it's $500 credit for Troll and Toad? Then you got $500. Oh yeah, Robert Schaefer. I don't have a code yet. If and when I have a code, I'll have to shout out my own code. But for now, TCA5. Rusty's a good dude. Use code TCA5, and if you have $500 of credit, you could get $525 worth of stuff approximately. So absolutely use that. No sense not using the discount code if it's there. I think that only works though if Rusty's selling it, TCA Gaming, or if Troll and Toad is selling it. I don't think it works if it's an Evo merchant item. So if you're buying from me, Ernesto says, Dan, what are you gonna do when the teacher tells you your son is selling light packs at school? We don't do that around here. He's gonna be in trouble. That's probably a play a lot of people would make in the hobby, but we're not about that. We tell people, hey, here's a heavy pack, lowest on the market. You're gonna get wrecked if you open it, and we still sell them. We tell people all the stuff. We do everything above board, and we still make the sales. You know, Dan's son is resealing. No resealing. No selling light packs is heavy. Yeah, that's there's enough money to be made in an honest way. So yeah, Dan 10 code incoming, hopefully. Enough money to be made in an honest fashion out there. You tell people, hey, you buy this, you're gonna lose money. They still buy it. They still open up the wallet, throw the cash. Still happens. If he's selling lights as light, then we're fine. I forgot to put them out in my case, but I had some light packs I didn't even put out to try to sell. Ava got to hold the FPO packs. I didn't even go over to watch the FPO packs opened. I figured they were gonna pull a bunch of Zards. If you watch Rusty's openings, Rusty, his most recent opening from a few years ago, he opened 2 5-card packs, and I think he got like 4 Charizards. Absolutely crazy how many he got. I think Charizard's one of the more common ones, but I'm not a huge fan of the FPO cards in general. I think it's clearly there's a lot more out there than people thought years ago. The prices are still going bonkers, but I think it was Trading Card World did that massive opening. They had a ton of them at the Pokemon Saves the World event in Vegas. I think that's the kind of item that there could be a lot more out there than people think. Even if there isn't, though, they're not for me. I like cards that were officially distributed, generally. But yeah, we'll see. I did see she shared the story where she's front and center. There was I have a picture. I have a picture of everyone. Let me see if I can find it. I had a picture of everyone huddled around. The conversation, I will find it. Let me see. I just got to go to my Google Photos. Metamon check. Yeah, tomorrow morning, 10:30. Shout out. I'm gonna be cracking seance. I am a MetaZoo partner. I will be selling at 140. I do have to uphold map. So if you can buy them elsewhere cheaper, absolutely do that. There's no need to buy them for me. But if you want to hang out tomorrow and you want to see MetaZoo Seance ripped, I'll be ripping it. I'll be ripping all 12 of these. Well, I think I'm gonna rip one with my son tonight. My son actually wants to rip some MetaZoo. So I'm going to be ripping one with my son tonight, and I've got 11 left for tomorrow. Unless a shipment comes today. I ordered 500 boxes, and only 24 came yesterday. I don't know where my other 476 are, but hopefully they show up. Yeah, I got the picture. Let me load up just the picture. Image. I don't know why it comes in so huge. But yeah, here's the picture. I took this picture from Trade Night in Denver when they were cracking the FPO pack. You got Zach, you got Gem Mint Pokemon over there, you got Jake, I see Thrifty, you see Nick's head hanging out there. I can't tell who everybody is from the backs of their heads, but I think Ava's in there somewhere on that side. Yeah. But there was a pretty big crew. I was sitting here though. I was hanging out with Nick. We were actually talking at length with Travis from Going Twice. One of my favorite conversations from the whole thing. And that's maybe Travis wasn't there yet. Maybe Travis came later in the night. Anyways, I was having a good chat with people. I didn't really care to try to elbow in and block people's view with my giant self. So I figured I'd watch the reel later, which I did of the openings. So yeah, I later that night though at the trade night, I was hanging out with Travis from Going Twice, and he bought out a bunch of my packs. Like he spent a few grand at my table. He does every convention. I've sold to him multiple times. To hear him talk about, like, very candidly, very openly. Mason was actually there too. I was talking openly about my business, a lot of numbers. I don't give all my sales numbers on YouTube. I talk about a lot of my buys, but not so much my sales. Maybe in the future I'll be more open. It really is enjoyable and interesting to hear people talk about what their top line gross is, what the mechanics of what they do behind the scenes. And that conversation with Travis and Mason and Nick, really, really interesting to hear what's going on behind the scenes. Because like Whatnot, Whatnot was responsible for a ton of our sales in our section. They buoy a lot of parts of the hobby, in my opinion. And I mean, Travis, Cloud, guys like those, they always buy from me. They pay lower than I'd like, but they're paying in cash. They pay fair prices. They, like, by all sense of the word, they pay fair prices. They get a lot of sales. At the end of the day, like, they make you an offer, you don't have to sell to them. I always do, because it's always a fair number. I make my margin, they make their margin. But hearing about the mechanics behind some of what he does, how many boxes he gets of each set, really fascinating. That conversation, really cool. What do you think of the Nintendo employee story? PK talked about it. He sold them for way too cheap. It was crazy. Bidan's boxes, people, the rent can wait. Absolutely not. No one's supposed to be selling it for less than 140 tomorrow. I'm upholding my partner agreement. I'm a man of my word. I didn't sign anything technically, but I'm a MetaZoo partner, and if I were to break map, I would no longer be. I want to continue being a MetaZoo partner. I like the TCG. I like what they're doing. You don't need to buy from me. If you do, I get some amount of LGS kits. I get some amount of add-ins that I can do that will try to make people whole versus what the cards are going, what the boxes are going for on the open market. So Mr. Walrus asking if I'm doing more of those rig giveaways where he can't win because of his neighbor's Wi-Fi speed. I'm definitely doing giveaways. ZNG Emporium, actually, he was in the chat earlier. I think he felt a little bad because they're always ragging on me. And some of the things that I tell James and he doesn't know is surprising to me. So several months back when him and Cam were on the podcast, I gave him the information that, like, when you buy something for resale, you don't have to pay sales tax on it. Somehow that was news to him. I think now he's buying things. I probably saved him like thousands of dollars with that, or I will in the future because of that. Just recently, though, we were talking. He didn't know how to do, I was watching ZNG Emporium live. He didn't know how to do scan forms on eBay. So I sent him an email. Well, I sent him a text. I'm like, you really don't know how to do it? I sent him an email. And, like, I'm probably actively saving James, ZNG Emporium, hours a week now. Or not, maybe not hours a week of hassle. If he were to stay in the line, hours a week it would be. But now he can just print the scan form. He can take them around back. They can scan it. I don't know how the people at his post office didn't suggest it either. But after I made that suggestion to him, he's like, oh man, this is a game changer. He's like, let me buy a Seance booster box from you so that you can give it away. So first giveaway is James ZNG Emporium sponsored. I'm going to shout him out tomorrow. I doubt he'll be watching my MetaZoo opening. But yeah, I just recently with Nick too. Oh yeah, Nick, this weekend at the convention, multiple times people were wanting to pay friends and family. Business accounts cannot receive friends and family. Like, big recommendation, if you're going to convention, cash, like actual $100 bills. Everyone will give you a better deal if you bring actual $100 bills. Part of the reason too, the internet's usually not good in the convention. So bring actual $100 bills to do purchases because you will get the best deal with actual cash. Back to my story anyways. Business accounts cannot receive friends and family, but they can and do send friends and family. So when I do consignments, shout out my buy now consignment service. If you send cards to me to be sold when they sell and you want to be paid out in friends and family, I can and will do that. I pay out in crypto, friends and family, business, check, however you want it. But Nick didn't know business accounts could send friends and family. They've always been able to, even after the recent change where they can no longer receive it. So for anyone who doesn't know that, 65 people in here listening, people might that might be news to you. So I can buy someone a blister like I did to basic if I'm awake when you go live. So as of today, I literally am going live at 10:30. I might only have packs to rip. I might only have these boxes, unfortunately. If I do, I will sell single packs if people want to buy it. I don't have spell books. I don't have blisters. I don't have release event decks as of right now. Hopefully they come in, but I don't have. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with it. Cheval saw himself. What are you doing if your son buys the MTG 30th anniversary boxes at MSRP? I'm gonna open it with him. We're probably not gonna get the old frame Lotus. We're probably gonna get wrecked, but I'm gonna rip it with him because I'm a gambler. We love Whatnot Buyout Boys, absolutely. The numbers and finance of it all is so interesting because so many people do it differently. Very interesting. Yeah, it's absolutely fascinating. I miss when Old Skool Pokemon used to make content. I miss when he used to show his monthly sales, his monthly buys. He used to show everything. He doesn't make YouTube content anymore, apparently, hardly. He will be making some tonight for the Pokeflips podcast. Shout out Old Card Shop. I got to meet him in Denver. Nick, Old Card Shop, and I will be recording tonight. We're not live tomorrow. We're recording tonight, posting it tomorrow. So keep an eye out for Pokeflips tomorrow. Gonna have me, Nick, and Josh talking Denver. Whatnot is the backbone of the hobby. Scan form on eBay. Scan form is like later this afternoon, I have like 20 something shipments. Instead of me going to the post office and handing them a box with 20 things and having to scan them all individually, you create one form with a label that accounts for all the labels within your order. If Google it, if you don't know what it is, just search eBay USPS scan form. It saves them so much time. When I started bringing, I didn't know what it was 5 years ago. And it got to the point where I was bringing like 10 packages every time I came, a few times a week. They're like, I don't want to scan all these individually. Print me a scan form. I didn't know what it was. They told me to look it up. I've been doing it for years. How James's employees at his USPS didn't tell him about it, I have no idea whatsoever. That blows my mind because he would talk about how annoyed they'd get at him. He'd go around back. He'd drop the stuff. Things wouldn't get scanned. The scan form, though, it gives them one form that they just scan it and all your labels get scanned as picked up. James was indeed an accountant, and he didn't know that that you don't have to pay sales tax on purchases made for resale. Very interesting. One thing, and this is not against James as an accountant, it's just a funny thing I think of. I think he was in corporate accounting, different kind of accounting, so maybe it wasn't applicable, but we always say not financial advice, not tax advice, consult a professional. Just because someone's a professional and has a title doesn't mean they know what they're doing. So I always say not tax advice, consult a CPA, some CPAs are not good at their jobs. So not only consult with a professional, consult with a well-reputed professional. Look up, talk to business people that you know are in your area, talk to friends and family, look up reviews. Make sure you're working with someone that knows what they're doing. Because a lot of people are out there doing stuff, not knowing what they're doing. So you don't want that as your accountant, for sure. Corporate accountant, taxes, I am clueless. So yeah. That's just because someone has a title, just because someone has a name, doesn't consult a CPA, but they're not all gonna even know what's up. See, James just gives it to his CPA, and a good CPA would have probably asked that. Would have probably been like, "Why are there sales taxes here? Why?" I don't know. I don't know, but now James knows. So I'm always handing out the knowledge. James, I'm trying to bring value. I'm always trying to bring value to my viewers. We got 85 people watching. They just learned about scan forms. They just learned about not having to pay sales tax on items purchased for resale. But you should run it by your CPA still, because this is not tax advice. Andrew James is a payroll accountant. PokeFresh Mrs. James. UAP says I'm his tax advisor. Now do you get the knowledge? Ava with a good point too. Multiple times people came up to me and they're like, "Hey, what can you do on this?" They'd step back. You could tell they were going on eBay looking at comps. That's fine by me, no problem. But you can't always count on having internet service. I heard of people there were deals that fell through because PayPal wasn't working for somebody. Another thing, I put it on my to-do list to do before Orlando. Part of me is like, I don't really want to do it because people should know to bring cash. People should know to be cash ready if they want to buy. But so like 4 or 5 people asked me personally, and I know people were asking Nick, people were asking other people around me, having a physical credit card reader. You can get ones that plug into your phone. I think I'm gonna get a credit card reader that plugs into my phone. Part of it sucks though, because like if I have a pack price for 450, that's always like a cash pricing. Um, if I'm gonna take four, like thing is, if I list 450, I sold the jungle packs for 420 that I had listed for 450. 420 cash is better than 450 with a credit card though. Not gonna go into why. Four cash is king. I don't want to start taking a credit card for everything, but if it means the difference between a slab not selling or selling altogether, having the option to take credit card is probably a good thing. There were 2 times that Nick had to take for me when I sold my 4th base pack. They did Venmo. I don't do Venmo, but like when I'm standing next to Nick, he can take Venmo and Apple Pay. I can take crypto. Crypto hasn't come up the last couple conventions, but I did actually middleman a crypto transaction for I forget if it was for Chris or Brennan for Crystal Pokemon or for Crystal Pokemon or Peloton Pokemon. One of them made a sale with crypto and I middled it. I took the crypto, I paid them, PayPal friends and family or whatever. But when you're that's the great thing about being in a big group of people. No one in our section had a credit card reader though. So I might get a credit card reader so that I can take that for people. But yeah, having everyone in the section willing to take and able to take payments and then send it on to you, that's great. My internet was decent too. It's usually like one cell phone provider is terrible and then one is like fine. Mine was slow, but I was able to do what I needed to do. I did take PayPal a couple times and I was always able to verify it. A little bit slow, but it was there. Um, People need to get on the ball for a tax person. They're going to be swamped this season. It's already kind of hard to find someone if you wait around any. Oh, with the new 1099 law, absolutely. I would say be proactive. Find someone now. If you're trying to find somebody April 10th to file 5 days later, you're going to have a hard time. You're going to be paying a lot more money too. If you file last minute, I mean, you can do extensions and all that, but if you file last minute and supply and demand, if they've got a ton of people, they've only got a fixed amount of time before the deadline, they charge higher at the deadline because, yeah, supply and demand. That's just the way that it goes. How's the crypto selling work? They buy it with X amount and then that amount can just fluctuate around, or do you pull it out? So I've sold for USDC. USDC is it's called USD coin. It's basically a crypto that's pegged to the US dollar. I don't use Tether. I wouldn't advise anyone use Tether because they're illegal in New York. Tether's illegal in New York because they actually they like won't allow people to audit. I don't think they carry one-to-one backing. USDC though is legal in New York. It's passed audits. That is a stable coin that's pegged to the dollar. So yeah, PK went live at the event, so the internet was good enough for that. But how's the crypto selling work? But yeah, I've sold with USDC. I immediately always transact it back to USD, but that's a stable coin, so that's not going to fluctuate theoretically. I've sold for Bitcoin. I've sold for Ethereum. I think the deal we did in Orlando was Ethereum. I accepted the Ethereum. I immediately market sold it. So they gave me a little bit more for fees, and then I sold it and I turned it into cash so that I wasn't subject to gambling on the crypto. That's the way that works. Yeah, PK went live. I don't know that my internet or my phone would have been good enough to go live for like an hour as PK did. That was a great live, by the way. I watched it. I watched it last night or this morning. I watched it at some point though. I watched it yesterday. And then I watched your live from last night this morning. Dan, you need to get your license so you can say financial advice. I'm sure that would cause no issues whatsoever. It is crazy though. Like more and more I've been straying away. Like I still consume so much Pokemon content. I do this full time. Pokemon's frequently in the background on YouTube. More and more though, I've been listening to like finance channels. Not like I do occasionally listen to Graham Stephan, Andre Jick. I actually met those guys in Vegas. I listen to some of their stuff, but a lot of it's repetitive, same stuff over and over. They give financial advice though, which is kind of crazy. Like they're not certified. They're not. I think they put disclaimers in the description. I listen to some other podcasts though. Like I do Poke Flips with Nick. People say, should I buy this card? Should I sell this card? Whatever. Uh, People actually call in to some of these podcasts that I listen to. Shout out Afford Anything. I listen to Afford Anything a lot lately. They have call-ins. I have this much cash, this much debt, this much this, that. What should I do with it? They literally say, pay down your car, put it in the S&P 500 in a Roth IRA. They give actual financial advice. Non-certified people all over the place. Like there are a lot of these podcasts out there. It's really interesting to see. I think they get around it because like it's entertainment. They market as entertainment on YouTube. They have a disclaimer at the end of the video. They're not, if they were certified, then they couldn't do it. But because they're not certified, they can. Like if your buddy, if your friend, if your brother, sibling, whoever, if they're like, hey, should I invest in S&P 500 or a Vanguard retirement account? You can tell them something. You can give them advice towards that. You can tell them what you do. You can't get sued for that. You're not certified. Like some of the people that I listen to and follow, they've actually had to drop their certifications. So some of the podcasts I listen to, they used to be certified financial planners. They've dropped their certifications so that they could do the podcast. It's really interesting. I always give way more disclaimers than I have to. I did do that recent video called "This is Financial Advice," but yeah, it's funny out there. I'm gonna wrap up in the next couple minutes. I do still have 76 people watching, but I have to go eat lunch. My son should be back from school, so we got some regrets in the chat. Thrifty didn't smoke with Lord Pokey Smoke. Ava didn't smoke enough with Thrifty. Literally zero internet in the Orlando location. Sorry, y'all. Orlando was worse. Orlando was worse than Denver. So be prepared. Go with knowledge. Go with cash. Cash is king. If you're going to be buying, you need to bring cash. Like, cash is king for sure. You recommend bringing different TCGs to sell since most bring the same Pokemon sets, it seems. Some people brought Dragon Ball. I know Peak That Chew brought like Zelda. We got a Tinder bot here at the end. But I sold a little bit of Metazoo. People think that no one collects it, no one plays it, but I was able to sell some. If you've got it and you got it priced right, things can move. You'll probably hear better from other people that were in my section, but some people brought DBZ. Swami brought a bunch of Marvel. I don't think his Marvel moved much Saturday, but maybe it did better Sunday. I'm sure you'll hear a lot more anecdotes from other people about how they did. Jake just hopped in. We got to end stream. How's it going, Jake? Nice to see you again down in Denver. I am ending those soon. Let me catch up these last couple. Dave Ramsey, he gives financial advice too. The Graham Stephan stuff is more so for people who don't have much knowledge, so it's really, really valuable for most people, but not a financial king like you. Gotta hop on the podcast. That's I think a very common theme, kind of like Pokemon content. You've got the PokeRev. He has the mass appeal stuff. He has the mass appeal top level. It's like a funnel. So PokeRev, Graham Stephan, Andre Jick, they're appealing to the top level. 99% of people can turn that on. I don't watch all of PokeRev stuff by any means, but like some amount of his high-end stuff. I didn't watch the EX Deoxys last night because I was busy, but if I was available, I would have popped that on for a little bit to see if someone got the gold star. But yeah, the high-end stuff, Dave Ramsey, Graham Stephan, Andre Jick, PokeRev, Unlisted Leaf, Deep Pocket Monster, mass appeal. They reach out to a way larger crowd. We're down in the bottom of that funnel. This kind of content that I make 2 hours into a live stream on a Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, that's like the 0.1 percentile. Very, very low ceiling. But yeah. Let's see. Thrifty TCG, AO, hot singles in your area. Me, what set though? Oh god. Let me catch up on chat and then I'm gonna wrap up. Yeah, Jake, we heard about we told him about me and the green shiz wiping the floor with you and PK at the end there. um Don Bogito's card corner got some Harry Potter from Jake. Lord Pokesmoke bought some of Peak That Choose Zelda. That's good to see. Great weekend. Yeah, Basic. I'm actually wrapping up right now. I feel bad. Basic and Jake, two great guys that I had a great weekend with, hop in and I gotta hop out. But yeah, I'm gonna be wrapping up soon. Let me catch up on Jake's comments here. So the financial advisor point is that everyone on YouTube is doing financial education and financial entertainment. Technically, not supposed to talk about individual situations. I listen to multiple podcasts where they take call-ins, like you do your call-in show. They take call-ins, not live, but pre-recorded. Hey, I owe 10K on my car. I owe 50K in student loans. I have 100K cash in the bank. Should I max out my IRA? They literally answer those questions. Several podcasts that I listen to. It's always interesting to listen to and hear, but it's like, yikes, it's scary. I would not want to be. It would be interesting to be in a podcast like that, but I would be afraid to. I'm telling you, some of these big channels out there, 50,000 subscribers, like there are big channels out there. They literally give you specific advice for your exact situation. It's scary. Pokenomics table at CAC was something else. Yeah, absolutely. There could be pending like there could be future lawsuits out there. I've got lunch at noon. We're a little past noon. I'm gonna be a little late, but Ivy and I got hustled for $20 by Jake and PK. That is definitely a big yikes. And it's out there. Like, it's interesting to listen to. I consume the content because it's interesting, but it's like, I don't know how this is happening. Imagine having debt. That's big yikes. But yeah, I appreciate everyone hanging out. Pleasantly surprised by how many people hung out for a Wednesday morning. Maybe I'll more frequently do morning live streams, or maybe I'll just do morning live streams that go all day. I do have a Discord, but it is paywalled through the Pokenomics Discord. Professor Oak, shout out Professor Oak. I didn't meet him yet in person. Great dude. If you want a free Discord, go check out Professor Oaks. I do have one if you want to get involved in the Pokenomics Patreon. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. I appreciate everyone hanging out. I will catch you all later.